Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and over the years, I've given the Call of Duty franchise a lot of flack. Everything from supply drops, to the Black Ops Pass, to Dark Matter not working, to the annual release cycle inherently being bad for the franchise. We've discussed it all over the 10 plus years that I've been making videos here in the channel. Well, today we're going to be doing pretty much the exact opposite. I want to give Infinity Ward credit for something that they did that was absolutely incredible, because this kind of thing is exactly, in my opinion, what we need to see more of going forward here in the Call of Duty franchise. And I, of course, am talking about Call of Duty Ghosts. I bet you guys didn't see that one coming. So Call of Duty Ghosts is not exactly my favorite game. I think I've made that kind of clear here on the channel before. But one aspect of the game that was absolutely incredible was the DLC season. I'm talking like insanely good. The DLC in this game was phenomenal. Every DLC season, before and after Ghost, in my opinion, has paled in comparison, at least when it comes to the insane multiplayer maps that we saw during that game's life cycle. Let's take a look back at some of the sheer nonsense that was released that would prove to be some of the coolest stuff that we've ever seen in Call of Duty's multiplayer. The first DLC pack was called Onslaught. It brought with it 3 new maps and a remake of Scrapyard from Modern Warfare 2, now called Ignition. Unlike Black Ops Cold War, they didn't simply just copy and paste lazily a map from back in the day into the current game, but rather they completely reimagined Scrapyard. Ignition was this giant rocket factory thing, and it had this field order that would set off a rocket that could kill players that were underneath it, and there were also a number of Easter eggs involving the aliens from the Extinction game mode on this map as well. The other maps included Containment, which was a pretty standard yet enjoyable map. We had Bayview, which was absolutely gorgeous. It featured a mortar strike field upgrade, as well as a rideable trolley that was incredibly innovative, at least for the time. We're talking like 2013, 2014 here. And who could forget the other DLC map from the first map pack, Fog. This was an absolute gem. I cannot stress to you guys, it's spooky season, it's now Halloween. I had to talk about this map here in this video. In fact, the original plan for this video was just to talk about Fog, but it turns out Call of Duty Ghosts had an amazing DLC all around, so we're talking about all of Call of Duty Ghosts DLC. But rest assured, Fog itself could probably have its own separate video, because the map itself is so freaking amazing. It's basically just one giant horror movie Easter egg. The entire area is reminiscent of Camp Crystal Lake from Friday the 13th. The cobwebs around the map are shaped like the mask from Scream. Dale's trailer from the early seasons of The Walking Dead is on the map along with his hat. The TVs have videotapes referencing The Ring. There's tons of Evil Dead references. There's some Ghostbuster references on this map. And who could forget the field order that allows you to become Michael fucking Myers in Call of Duty? Like, how cool is that? I have to say, I'm betting that Michael Myers, the reason why they chose Michael Myers over like Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger or anything like that, was probably because of the Michael Myers fan game mode that people used to play back in Call of Duty 4. If you guys didn't know, back in Call of Duty 4, back when people, Call of Duty was more of a community back then, I would say, people would just message all their friends and recent players on Xbox or PlayStation, and they would get everyone into a lobby in a private match. They'd go into old school mode, and then one person would be Michael Myers and run around trying to knife all the other players while they tried to hide from him in glitch spots all across all the different Call of Duty 4 maps that you could access while playing in old school mode. It was such a fun and popular fan-made custom game mode that in Modern Warfare Remastered, Raven Software took that idea and made it an official game mode called Slasher. But back in 2013/2014, I have a feeling the reason why Michael Myers is running around on this map with an axe, which is, I guess, different than him running around with a knife in the movies, is because of that old school game mode. So Infinity Ward, they know their audience, or at least back then they knew their audience, and they made Michael Myers a playable character. You could run around stabbing people as Michael Myers if you completed the field upgrade, and that was absolutely insane for the time, and it would still be insane today. I mean, sure, Black Ops Cold War, we see brand integrations with Rambo and Judge Dredd and stuff like that, but those are just store bundles, right? I mean, while they are cool, they are store bundles that cost upwards of $20 or $30 for one individual skin, whereas back in Call of Duty Ghosts, this was just part of a map pack that cost $15. And while yes, I can agree that the old map pack model and the old season pass model is completely antiquated and should not come back, $15 for 4 amazing DLC maps, plus an extinction map, plus the Maverick assault rifle / sniper rifle is a much better deal than $30 for a model of Sylvester Stallone that looks like it's made out of Play-Doh when you play Warzone, right? I mean, DLC back then, you got a little bit more bang for your buck as compared to now, at least in my own personal opinion. But getting back to it, the rest of the Call of Duty Ghosts DLC was equally incredible to the original map pack. Eventually, we would see a map that was set in an Old West gold mine. We had one map that was a literal haunted pirate ship / pirate town that had pirate ghosts running around shooting at players. Behemoth was set on top of a massive excavator. Unearthed was a reimagined version of Dome from Modern Warfare 3, but it was basically all about the extinction aliens. There was an actual alien gun you could acquire on the map and run around killing players with. Ruins was a map that had a field order that would erupt a volcano that would kill enemy players, and also had Predator from Alien vs. Predator as a playable character on the map as part of a different field upgrade. Departed, if you guys remember this map, was a beautiful map that would turn one player into the Death Mariachi. The list goes on and on. I could talk about every single DLC map that came out in Call of Duty Ghosts. They were all fantastic, except for Showtime. Showtime's one of the worst maps in Call of Duty history. Fuck you, Infinity Ward, for ever making that map. You ruined Shipment. How do you take like one of the most simple, basic, fun maps in the history of the franchise, like Shipment, and then ruin it? Oh, I'm being harsh, but come on, man. Like, Showtime was awful. I hated that map. They took... I'm not even gonna get into it. They took Shipment and they ruined it, is what they did. But thankfully, you know, when Sledgehammer Games decided to remake Shipment for Call of Duty World War II, they made, in my opinion, a better version of Shipment. I'd say the World War II version of Shipment was better than the COD 4 version. But aside from Showtime, pretty much all the Call of Duty Ghosts DLC maps were incredible. Not only were the field upgrades an awesome idea that made every single map feel unique and every match feel dynamic, but the DLC maps that we saw back in Call of Duty Ghosts were some of the most unique and interesting maps in Call of Duty history. Like, think about it. Instead of having a war-torn, generic Middle Eastern town, we had a haunted pirate ship. Instead of a rubble-filled American downtown, we had spooky Egyptian palaces, right? Instead of, you know, random Russian town in the middle of nowhere, we had something as cool as like an ancient alien dig site. The list goes on and on. Call of Duty Ghosts, in my opinion, had above and beyond the best DLC season of any Call of Duty game, at least when it comes to multiplayer. Infinity Ward absolutely killed it when it came to post-launch multiplayer content for that game, but unfortunately, we would never see anything this fun, this interesting, or even this creative ever again in the almost decade since Call of Duty Ghosts came out. Occasionally, we get an awesome DLC map, like Splash from Black Ops 3 comes to mind as an incredible, awesome DLC map that had a really fun and interesting theme, but by and large, Call of Duty Ghosts DLC has been the GOAT for almost a decade now, which is kind of sad if you really think about it. Now, obviously, some people are going to complain that this kind of outlandish content doesn't belong in their Call of Duty, but these people are just... I don't know, they're almost like me in a way, where I'm always like holding on to the idea of like old school COD and trying to make COD more like it was back in Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 and so on and so forth. But I feel like these people that think that COD is realistic, they're holding on to this like weird ideal that the game is even remotely real, when in reality it's not. Like, they're trying to say the game should be realistic, meanwhile they're getting constantly jump shot around corners by guys wearing backwards optic gaming hats with their sunglasses with their animated camo AK-74Us. Like, Call of Duty is inherently unrealistic. It always has been. It's not ever going to be a milsim as much as you want it to be, or as much as they pretend it is to sell you really boring stuff at launch, like I've talked about before. It seems like the annual cycle has been release the game, have all the base content in the game be mildly realistic and therefore boring, and then make all the fun and interesting stuff you have to buy from the shop for like $20 or $30. And somehow they get away with that every single year, because there's always that group of people that are like, oh, COD needs to be realistic, COD needs to be grounded, it has to be, you know, somewhat milsim for some reason. And it's those people that are the reason why things like Dark Matter suck. And they're the reason why the stuff we can actually earn in-game are pretty terrible, and why the stuff we can buy from the shop are always above and beyond so much better, on top of course, you know, them just trying to make money from the game. But regardless, I feel as though if people were to just embrace the fact that Call of Duty is an arcade shooter, we would have a lot more fun. We'd have a lot more interesting maps, interesting guns, interesting camos, interesting progression paths, interesting everything, essentially, right? And I think a good example of that would be looking back, once again, at Call of Duty Ghosts. Back then, Infinity Ward took risks. They got goofy, and the maps, as a result, were both memorable and fun. I mean, realistically, guys, can you name, like, half the maps that have come into Black Ops Cold War? Because I can. Grant, like, the Pines is above and beyond the best one, in my opinion, because it's a mall in the 80s. It has an incredible vibe, it looks awesome, and it's fun as a result. But a lot of the other maps are just sort of meh, in my opinion, with the exception of remakes like Drive-In. Drive-In was a cool idea. That was back in Black Ops 1, where they got really creative when it came to their map design, when it came to DLC. But in general, the stuff that we see in Black Ops Cold War, it certainly isn't fun like we saw back in Call of Duty Ghosts. We're not seeing things like haunted gold mines, rocket ship factories with alien ruins underneath, or Camp Crystal Lake with Michael Myers running around instead of Jason Voorhees. We don't see anything like that. I mean, in Season 6, we're going to have that one map that's going to be set within basically the mind of Adler, which will be interesting. It's going to be a bit more abstract, I suppose. But in general, you guys get what I'm saying here. Like, they killed it with Call of Duty Ghosts DLC. It was so innovative and so fun, and field orders were a big part of that. Whereas nowadays, we don't really have that nearly as much. DLC maps are basically just copy and pasting fan favorites from the older games, like Call of Duty is now suddenly like this classic rock station that just keeps playing the hits over and over and over instead of trying to put anything new out. But yeah, I guess that's really where COD is right now. But going back to it, Infinity Ward absolutely killed it with Call of Duty Ghost DLC. I'm giving credit where credit is due, and I truly hope that going forward, starting with Call of Duty Vanguard, all the folks from all the studios that are all working on that game will flex their creative bone a little bit more and try to create that same kind of awe-inspiring content that Infinity Ward was able to produce back in 2013/2014. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys all enjoyed this trip down memory lane. If you did, consider leaving a like, leave your thoughts and feedback on today's topic down there in the comment section below, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.